Howdy folks, I'm that literary lady, and today is Thursday, May the 2nd, time for Literary Tip Thursday. Now, as I've been explaining to you all before, we're going to get that book published for you in 2013. So today is part 1 of Publish That Book in 2013. And I'm going to start from the very beginning and go all the way to the end. So today we're going to focus on starting to write. Now, I'm going to present you with some tools that you'll probably need, and you'll probably have your own set of tools that you can get to help you start writing. But the main theme for today is to just start writing. A lot of people will say they have a story in their head, but they don't know where to begin. Just start writing. Don't worry about what goes where. Don't worry about forming chapters. Don't worry about if something is in one scene and it belongs to another. Get it on paper, because down the line, we'll talk about how we actually begin to formulate and mold your story and your plot and your characteristics and things like that. But if you'd like, I have a character outline that you can start with. At least that'll give you a starting point. If you are wanting that, you can actually go on my website, thatliterarylady.com, and download that PDF of the character guideline. That is free to you. But let's just talk about writing. You have these ideas in your head, correct? Take those ideas as they appear in your head, no matter how crazy they sound, and start writing them down on paper. Don't worry about what, where, who, what, why, whatever. Just write it down on paper, because we're going to be able to go back and look at what we have and formulate that. So I said in another video that I suggest having stickies by the side of your bed. So if you wake up in the middle of the night, you can write down your thoughts so you don't lose it, because I'm up there in age and I tend to forget things. So I like to write it down. Or I just got a new cell phone. Bye-bye, BlackBerry. I got a new cell phone. It's the Samsung Galaxy Note 2, and it's by my bed at all times. If I don't want to have a lot of stickies hanging around, what I'll do is write it down on the phone, or you have voice recorder. Every cell phone, or at least every smartphone, has a record feature where you can record notes. Record that, talk it into the cell phone, and then later on the next day, write it down on paper or put it on your computer. Now, I do want to say this before I go on. If you are writing, no matter what you are writing, we all know that technology is great, but it also can be your worst enemy. Whenever you are writing, make sure you are saving what you are writing on a flash drive. Some know it as a thumb drive. And that is one of these little things right here. This little thing right here. Make sure you save your writing on this. And this right here is only 1 gigabyte. And this is enough for a few manuscripts. So you don't need to go out and pay $25 for 16 gigabytes. These, I think, I actually got this one for free, but I have several over here that I pick up when I go into Office Depot for other items, and they're at the front checkout for $3, $4, $5. You only need one, and just make sure you're backing up your work, because there's nothing like writing your thoughts down, starting your book, and losing everything in case your computer gets a virus or it stops working, whatever. Always save to your back drive every time you are writing. As a matter of fact, what I do, I have an external hard drive. It's a little small, thin one, and it's about 1 terabyte. Yes, they're that big now. And I just automatically open my file from that hard drive and type onto that hard drive and save. That way it's not being saved on my computer. That way, if in the middle of me writing, my computer stops, it's on my hard drive. So back up your work always. Otherwise you will regret it, I guarantee you. So you're writing things down on paper. You've got your flow going. You've become stuck. I'm going to give you some books here, some tools that you can use to help you. But the main thing that I would say, I'm going to give you a few tools, but the main things I would say to have as far as books go is a thesaurus and a dictionary. And of course, I use the Chicago Manual Style. That's my Bible, basically, as far as writing goes. But I have several resources that I'm going to show you. I have the 2013 Writer's Market, and I talked about this in another video, that you actually should have one of these. And I would only suggest getting one every other year, because although there may be some changes in them from year to year, there's not much of a change. So these things are pretty pricey. This one cost me $30. So And you can actually get them cheaper on Amazon, but still, just make a point to invest in one of these every other year. The last one I got was 2011. This is 2013, and the next one I'll get will be 2015, I believe. So the writer's market, and the reason why I want you to get the writer's market is because it has a lot of markets in here. Magazine markets, novel markets, whether your genre is romance, sci-fi, Christian, or whatever. It has pay scales in here. It has a critique workshop on query letters and submissions. This is a very, very, very valuable tool, and you definitely will get your money's worth out of this one, plus some. Okay, the next tool, again, I stated, a dictionary. A good dictionary. And make sure the dictionary is up to date, because as we know, things change in dictionaries. Words are added, words are deleted. Make sure you get a good current dictionary. I bought this one last year. I don't see a reason to buy one every single year, especially with the access to dictionary.com and other sites. But you still, sometimes you don't want to be on a computer typing your manuscript. You want to be handwriting it, or you want to be on a laptop where you're not accessing the internet. So it's good to have this so you can feel this in your hand. So that's a good tool to have. And then another good tool to have is going to be a thesaurus. It goes hand in hand with the dictionary. You can find different words. How many times have you used the word, but it seems so redundant because you kept using the word sentence after sentence after sentence? This will give you synonyms of different words, or words that you're not sure what they are or what word to use. This will help you as well. So make sure you have a good thesaurus. And again, I wouldn't invest in one every single year. Actually, this one right here is probably about 3 or 4 years old. But still, it serves its purpose because I use it in conjunction with thesaurus.com. So make sure you have one of these. And I mentioned earlier that I love, and this is my Bible, Chicago Manual Style. This has, if you're looking for a rule, should there be a period or should there be a colon? Should there be a dash or an in dash? And there's a difference in dashes. This has so much information, and as you can see, I use it a lot. You see my little stickies there, and this is what I use a lot when I edit my clients' work as well. But it has so much information, how you should use numbers, in how you should quote or cite references. It has so much. It's very valuable. This one here cost me $55. But I imagine because the newer one out, which is the 16th, when 17 is getting ready to come out, this will probably this will probably go down in price. So even so, $55 to me is worth it because you'll get a lot of value. A lot of the questions that you have, you can find in here. So if you ask, one of the authors, what is the rule on this, and you don't get an answer or whatever, you have it right here. You can look it up. There is so much valuable information. So those three things, the dictionary, thesaurus, and the Chicago Manual of Style, are the three main resources that you should have in your library right now. And in addition, I would get the writer's market. I wouldn't say the writer's market is very important to get right now, but you'll need it when you come when it comes time to market your work. But you also may need it if you are looking to write an idea, but you're not sure what genre you want to fit it in. You can see what markets are accepting manuscript submissions and tailor it towards that particular submission. A couple other resources, and I wouldn't get too hung up on them, but I'm a book person. So any resource I see that can help me write better, I will pick it up. You got the Word Smart. This is the 3rd edition. I'm pretty sure they're probably up to the 5th or 6th edition, if not higher. But it's still building an educated vocabulary. It has the 823 words you need to know to communicate effectively, be more persuasive, get more from your reading, score higher on the SAT and other standardized tests. But it does help a lot with your writing and trying to get your words right. I read an article recently where it says most Americans read at a 6th grade education level. And these kind of books will actually help you bump that up. So another one is here. A lot of people miss the mark with dialogue when they're writing their books. Dialogue is an actual person speaking in between the parentheses. A lot of people will have a lot of narration, a lot of description, and hardly any dialogue. And dialogue although the other stuff is very important, dialogue keeps people's attention when they're reading your book. So I have a book called Dialogue, How to Get Your Characters Talking to Each Other in a Way That Vividly Reveals Who They Are, What They're Doing, and What's Coming Next in Your Story. This is by Louis Turco. And you can get this book either on Amazon or you can get it at Writer's Digest. WritersDigest.com is a good resource to buy a lot of your writing materials and your resources. However, I will warn that if you're trying to do this on a budget, you may want to go and check the price on Amazon because they tend to be a little cheaper. Shut up, he explained. This again is about dialogue and a writer's guide to the uses and misuses of dialogue. So this is one of the books that I use. And this will come down the line, self-editing for writers. What I don't want you to do, and I probably shouldn't have showed you this, but since I have it up here now, what I don't want you to do is start writing something, then going back to read it and re-editing it, then waiting, then going back and then re-editing it again. What I want you to do is get everything on paper first and then go back and edit. So don't even worry about this, the editing, but if you're buying books and you happen to see it, go ahead and pick it up. But don't even worry about the editing process right now. We're not there. Right now in step one, we are more concerned about getting what's in here down on paper. So just concentrate on that. And then of course, Cliff Notes. Everybody loves Cliff Notes. This one's on writing, grammar, usage, and style. Now I will say this, depending on what you're writing, there has been a dispute on grammar usage. According to the Chicago Manual Style, in my experience, if you are writing slang or whatever within between two quotation marks, that is the person actually speaking. So if they say, y'all got some whatever in between the parentheses, that's how that person's talks. That's part of their character. So you don't change that. It's what's said outside of the parentheses that we should really focus on, because that can actually ruin your manuscript. So just to recap, the important thing is to get things on paper now. No matter how they come out, get them on paper or get them typed on a flash drive, and worry about going back later. You know, even if you have a same thought with a different ending, write it down anyway, because you'd be surprised. You probably can take one piece and put it in another section of your book. So again, write everything down. Just worry about now getting your ideas on paper, even if it's not a full thought or a full story or anything. Just write it down, because I guarantee you, once you do go back over it, it will trigger a lot of memories, or your creative juices will be flowing, that you will be able to have that pen flowing. Also remember to back up your work on the flash drive. You won't regret it if you do. You will regret it if you don't, because that's very important. Make sure you invest in a dictionary, a thesaurus, and the Chicago Manual of Style. There are other style books out there like AP, Yahoo, and other ones, and I have them all up here in my library. However, I use the Yahoo and the AP mostly when I'm doing articles, because it's a little bit different in journalism. It just depends. I just say if you're doing fiction, use the Chicago Manual of Style. And that's just my suggestions. You may talk to other writers who use different ones, but a lot that I do talk to, they do use the Chicago Manual of Style. So also keep a set of stickies and a pen by your bed or your cell phone, or a personal recorder, handheld recorder, so you can record your thoughts in the middle of the night. Keep one in your purse. Gentlemen, keep something in the back of your pocket, or use your cell phone to record notes. You can be out at the doctor's office, in the drive-thru at McDonald's, and a thought will come to your head. I guarantee you. You want to make sure you get that down before you lose that thought. And we can always say, oh, I know I'll remember to do that later. I can guarantee you, if you are like me, you will forget it. So get it down on paper any way you can. And next week we'll go to step 2. I'm not going to tell you what that is, because I want to make sure you're not anticipating or trying to study or get ready for part 2. I just want you to concentrate this week on writing it down, getting whatever it is on your paper. If it's a couple of words, write them down. If they don't make sense, write them down. I hope this helps, and I hope that this will help you get started to getting that book published in 2013. Again, my name is That Literary Lady, Yolanda Johnson-Bryant, and this has been this week's edition of That Thursday literary tip. I got to get used to that, folks. You guys have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye.